Behavioural biases can have a huge impact on the way we handle our finances. In this 444, I'll be unpacking 4 of the key biases that can make you misbehave with your money. Confirmation bias, anchoring, the endowment effect, and framing. These biases are tendencies that we all have as human beings to make decisions based on certain filters that we have developed throughout our evolution and our lives. These filters can lead us to make decisions that may not be best for us in the long term. Let's start with confirmation bias. This is the tendency to search for, interpret and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. We look for evidence that supports our view of the world and ignore information that opposes it. Have you ever heard somebody say, "I knew it all along"? This is a perfect example of confirmation bias. For example, let's say you're convinced that investing in a certain stock is a good idea. You may only seek out news articles or opinions that support your belief while ignoring any information that suggests otherwise. This can lead to financial losses if you're not considering all the available information. Confirmation bias can have a significant impact on our financial decisions. It can lead us to invest in stocks or other investments that are not the most appropriate for our financial goals. It's important to be aware of this bias and to actively seek out opinions and information that may challenge our beliefs. This is the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive when making decisions. For instance, if you're shopping for a car and the first price you see is way out of your budget, you may still end up spending more than you intended because that initial price set the anchor for what you expected to pay. Anchoring can have a significant impact on our financial decisions, especially when it comes to negotiating prices. If we have a preconceived notion of what something should cost, we may miss out on opportunities to negotiate a better deal. It's important to be aware of this bias and to actively seek out alternative options and prices. This is a tendency to overvalue things we own simply because we already own them. For example, you may have a collection of rare coins that you believe are worth a lot of money. But when it comes time to sell them, you may have trouble parting with them for less than you feel they are worth, even if the market value is lower. The endowment effect can lead us to hold on to assets that are not serving us well and to refuse to sell them at a lower price. This can lead to missed opportunities to reinvest that money into more profitable assets. It's important to be aware of this bias and to actively seek out opinions and information that may challenge our beliefs about the value of the things we own. I come across this bias a lot when people inherit assets or are members of a company share scheme. But remember, the asset doesn't know you own it. The question I use to help people here is, if you didn't already own it, would you buy it? If the answer is no, you know what you need to do. The way information is presented or framed can impact our decision making. For instance, if you're presented with a choice between 2 investments and one is described as low risk while the other is described as high risk, you may be more likely to choose the low risk option, even if the potential returns are lower. Whereas investments framed as high return and low return may elicit the opposite choice. Framing can have a significant impact on our investment decisions. It's important to be aware of how information is being presented to us and to seek out additional information that may provide a more well-rounded perspective on the investment options available. So those are the 4 key biases to be aware of when it comes to managing your finances. By understanding these biases, you can make more informed and objective decisions that will help you to achieve your financial goals. But understanding these biases is only the first step. It's equally important to take action to overcome them. Here are some tips to help you do just that. Be aware of your biases. The first and most important step in overcoming these biases is to be aware of them. Take some time to reflect on your decision-making process and consider whether any of these biases may be influencing your choices. Seek out alternative perspectives. To overcome confirmation bias, it's important to seek out alternative perspectives. If you're considering an investment, for example, take the time to research both the positive and negative aspects of it. Set clear goals and stick to them. In order to avoid being influenced by anchoring bias, it's important to set clear goals for your financial decisions. This can help you to stay focused on what's most important rather than getting distracted by irrelevant information. Take a step back and reevaluate. If you're struggling with the endowment effect, it can be helpful to take a step back and reevaluate your assets. Consider whether they are truly serving your best interests or whether you may be better off selling them and reinvesting the money elsewhere. Ask questions and do your research. To overcome framing bias, it's important to ask questions and do your own research. Don't rely solely on the information provided to you. Seek out additional sources and perspectives to ensure that you're making an informed decision. By being aware of these biases and taking steps to overcome them, you can make more informed and objective decisions that will help you achieve your financial goals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.